your testimonials are useless if you don't know how to use them to maximize conversions. A testimonial is so much more than some nice words a client has said about you. It's a way to build social proof and trust with potential clients by showing them what kind of results and experience they can expect by working with you. But not every testimonial has the potential to convert. And if all you do is just copy pasting client testimonials onto your website, hoping that your future visitors will read them, or maybe you only have 2-3 testimonials for now and you're not really sure how to use them, keep watching, because in this video, I'm gonna share with you 10 creative and powerful ways you can use testimonials to maximize your results and grow trust with future clients. First, let's talk about all the different ways you can use testimonials on your website. The first and probably the most obvious one is, of course, using the testimonials on your homepage. Your homepage is the most visited page on your site, so you want to put a few testimonials there for sure. But one mistake I see often is when people put their testimonials in a carousel. Now, what do you think is the issue with that? People don't click through carousels. They're boring. Very few people will actually wait and go past testimonial number 1, which means that all the great stuff that people have to say about you will actually go unnoticed. So instead, you want to pull out those testimonials from the carousel and give them primary real estate on your homepage with a whole separate section. And you can even add a link directly to the case study that is linked to that testimonial if future clients want to go and learn more about the project itself. Another important thing to remember is to make the testimonial easy to digest for the viewer. For example, let's take this lengthy testimonial right here. I mean, this is a great testimonial. It all sounds great. There's lots of praise and good stuff in here, but it's just way too much text. Most viewers are probably just gonna scroll past that, which makes the entire testimonial useless. So instead, you want to make the testimonial easy to read and digest for the viewer. You wanna highlight the most important parts and focus on the transformation your client went through. You can do this by shortening the testimonial, for example. You can add a strong header, or maybe highlight some bits and pieces to make the testimonial scannable by bolding or underlining certain words, or adding highlights and scribbles if that's aligned with your brand. That way, when your prospect actually scans and scrolls through your site, it will be much easier for them to spot the keywords and the key phrases inside the testimonial and make them want to read it. One thing though, if you do make any changes to the structure of the testimonial, remember to always run it past your client before publishing it on your site. You want to ensure that they approve of any changes you made and they're happy with it being published this way. So that's strategy number 1, just adding your testimonials to the homepage, another important page on your site, and make the testimonials easy to read and digest. The second idea is to add them to your case study pages. For example, you could add the shorter version of the testimonial to your homepage and then the longer, the full version of it to your case study page to really show the entire experience your client went through. So imagine you would have your case study page with project description, deliverables, mockups, and at the end, at the bottom, you would have your client testimonial followed by a strong call to action like, hey, ready to transform your brand and your website too? Get in touch. That extra piece of social proof could be the thing that helps your prospect take action and reach out to you. All right, now let's talk about other ways you could repurpose your written testimonials outside of your website. So think about what are other touch points you have with your prospect before actually converting them to a client. How do they reach out? What emails or what documents do you send them? For example, I often see designers have a pricing or service guide on their website. And this is also a great place to add testimonials in addition to your pricing and offers. People who download your service guide, they're already invested and interested in learning more about you and your offers. So a few testimonials and case studies in there can definitely help move them in the right direction. Now, if you send your client a written proposal, this is also a good place to add testimonials. What I do is I create a case study page for every project I have, and then I include one or two in the proposal if needed. Don't always do that, but if needed, based on the prospect and the project itself. So let's say I have a prospect who's a wellness brand. Well, in that case, I'm going to include a beauty brand project and a yoga studio rebrand project because it's aligned with my client's industry. And because I already created these pages in advance, I don't need to waste time creating them in the moment. I just have them on hand when and if needed and ready to go. Okay, so we have price guide, we have proposal. What else? What other touch points do you have with your clients? Well, you send them emails, right? And email signatures are a great piece of real estate that is often forgotten, but great to market, promote your offers, prompt people to get on a discovery call, and of course also build social proof by sharing a testimonial. You could either link it to Google reviews if you have any, or you can just add a short but powerful quote right in there. And it's super easy to update whenever you need. Speaking of emails, another great place to sneakily add a testimonial is in your autoresponder email when they submit an inquiry or book a call with you. So when someone goes on your site and submits an inquiry or book a call, they usually get some sort of auto reply like, "Hey, thanks for booking. I look forward to speaking with you." But you could go the extra mile and edit that message to make it more personal and more interesting. There's usually a gap between the moment when someone books a call with you or inquires and the time when they actually hear from you or they get to speak with you. It's that awkward waiting time. And this is your opportunity to actually help them get to know you even better during this time. You could add some resources to that email for them to check out. You could add links to some of your favorite projects for them to have a look at your style and build trust in you. And of course, a testimonial to get them excited about the coming call. All right, so these were warm touch points. Basically, when the client already got to know you a bit better and took some sort of action towards you. But what about cold touch points? Where does the client find out about you for the very first time? Let's talk about social media for a second. How good of a job are you doing to highlight your client testimonial on your social media accounts? If you're on Instagram, for example, then making a post or a story about it, about a client result or some kind words they said about you, it's a good start, but it will very quickly just get lost in the sea of content. And in 24 hours, that's just going to become irrelevant. Nobody's going to see it. So instead, you want to make sure to save all of that in a highlight, for example, so people can check it out and view your past testimonials as well. If you share projects on Dribbble, then you want to make sure you add testimonials to your case studies just like you would on your website. And if your main platform is LinkedIn, for example, then you could create a featured section so you can pin content to the top and it's easily visible for your page viewers there. What I'm saying is you want to think about what are your primary lead generating platforms and think about not only how to share your client testimonials there, I'm sure you already do, but ask yourself, how can I make it last? Because that's the important part. How can I ensure that it stays there for longer than the 24-hour expiration cycle? All right, so these were all relatively easy strategies to repurpose client testimonial. Now I want to share 3 strategies, more advanced strategies, to really maximize the potential of a client's testimonial. The first is to use video testimonials. I use a tool called Social Juice, and at the end of the project, I can send my client a link where they can either submit a written review or they can record a video testimonial as well. And I can even give them some guidance and some questions to think about when recording. The great thing about video testimonials is that there are so many ways that you can reuse them. You can create a YouTube short, a TikTok, a reel. You can put them on your website. You can transcribe them and use them as a written testimonial and do all the things I suggested before. There is just so much potential. Now, of course, not every client may feel comfortable in front of the camera. That's why having these prompts for them to answer can make it a little bit easier for them, and you can then edit the video and cut it to create a really great, strong testimonial that highlights your client experience and their transformation. The other way you can really go above and beyond is to create a collaborative blog post about the project. So this is different from the case study, although you definitely can and should include images of your work in the blog post itself. But this is more of a storytelling post about the project, about why your client decided to rebrand, how the project went, what were some obstacles you overcame, etc. You could also do this interview style to make it even easier and send your client a couple of questions for them to answer so you can then add them to the blog post. And finally, speaking of interviews, if you have a podcast or YouTube channel, then I strongly suggest to interview your own clients to talk about their experience and their results. It's great not only for marketing purposes, because there are just so many different ways that you can repurpose that and create content out of that, but it's also amazing for nurturing and reinforcing your client relationships. You end up bonding on a more personal level. You get to know each other outside of the work environment, and all of that is super important to increase client loyalty so they can come back for more in the future, but also refer more clients your way. So there you go. That's 10 different ways you can use client testimonials to market yourself, to build trust, and to attract more clients. Let's quickly recap all of that because that was a lot. Number one, use testimonials on your website, especially on your homepage to begin with. Number two, add testimonials to your case studies for extra social proof. Number three, add testimonials to your services and pricing guides if you have one. Number four, update your proposal with testimonial pages. And if you want to make this even easier for you in the future, then create pages for pretty much every single of your project so you can easily add them to the relevant proposals. Number five, add a testimonial to your email signature. This is prime real estate that we often forget about. Number six, update your autoresponder with resources, case studies, or testimonials to build trust during this silent, awkward period between the inquiry and the first call. Number seven, think about how to make your testimonials last on your social media platforms. Number eight, use video testimonials to add to your site or create short form video content. Number nine, write a blog post about each project and add testimonials there. Or you can also interview your client to get even more juicy details. And finally, number 10 is to interview your client in a more formal setting for a podcast or a YouTube channel and repurpose all of that to do all of the above. So there you go. I hope you found this video valuable and this just sparked some new ideas for you. I'd love to hear which of these ideas you're gonna take and implement. So make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below, like, subscribe, and of course, as always, I will see you in the next video.